You can see Jinx from Germany taking on Valkyria, or you can keep it here right with us, where we're watching LUV from Belgium fighting on home turf against YAKA. I'm Lorcan Murray, and it is a unique, inaugural pleasure for me to be joined by the one, the only, Ali Thompson.
Oh, God, you.
Lorcan Murray, Ali Thompson.
Maybe we can tell you that story at halftime. Ali Thomas is me.
And how are you feeling about this game, Ali?
I am super excited. I haven't had a chance to watch too much women's this weekend, but I did see LUV play Frisbee yesterday in what was very windy conditions and quite wet as well. So I'm very keen to see what both these teams can do in the rather stiller atmosphere here.
Well, I would expect shots like that from Fennig, but I would expect them to go a little bit better. Maybe some just early nerves as they're trying to settle themselves in. That's Anar on the far sideline. Looking for dumps, working around, and eventually getting it off to the middle of the pitch. And LUV just taking a little bit of time. Claudia Anar into the middle, and there's the pop to the uprushing handler. Big shot. Lots of bodies underneath it. And in the end, that's Aline Mondieu, talismanic leader of YAKA, coming down and getting that block. Immediately throwing it into the waiting hands of Anar. So LUV getting a turn right on the end zone and an opportunity to get a quick score against, what you'd have to presume are the favorites. That was technically looking quite a good scooper, but perhaps not the right call in that situation.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of first game nerves, a little bit of early morning jitters from both teams, just kind of feeling each other out in this first game.
So Mondieu going to the front corner of the end zone. There's few women on this continent you'd rather have in that position. Beautiful down the line pass to the streaking figure of Chassignon. Chassignon centers it, and it's now back to Mondieu. With a full field and a wide retinue of throws, she goes with the backhand. Anna Le Bon. Boom.
Perfectly weighted from Mondieu, and that is much more what we would expect from this French side. Just some beautifully weighted throws for the cutters to catch in stride in the end zone. And we hear YAKA do their high-pitched celebration chant, followed by some claps.
Trying to raise that intensity here on Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly. You need to get the blood pumping, get the fire started.
So YAKA with the first score. Feeling comfortable, settle down after those nerves. That's one of the things that's so effective about having a resource like Aline Mondieu on your team. You can quite easily just give the disc to her and rely on her to calm things down, work through the options, and then, if the opportunity becomes available, take some pretty impressive shots to the end zone.
For sure. And I think that connection between Anouar and Chalice is going to be pretty key in this game. They were very dominant in the game I saw yesterday. I imagine they've been dominant all weekend. They both can do pretty much anything on either side of the disc. So we will see LUV's O-line. That pull is just going to sail out of bounds. Will be bricked by the number 20, Charlotte Peters, who is also a very strong player for this Belgian side.
And they're going to need to rely on their veterans and their established presences who are used to playing at this level when LUV go up against one of the most impressive outfits women's ultimate has ever seen in Europe. And they're going to need shots like that. Really well weighted, really well worked, and they get the score in the end zone. They're excited.
They really are, and you know, who can blame them? That was some really textbook, lovely horizontal stack offense and flow. And sometimes you can see horizontal can kind of break down a bit after a few passes. People aren't clearing out quite in the right directions. But obviously at this level, you know, on this field, I'm not going to say the rest of the quote, but some lovely Frisbee from LUV there.
And settling into this game, there's always a danger when you're going up against YAKA that you wind up playing the reputation rather than the women. And certainly not something that you want to fall into, but it's so difficult not to when you're playing a team that has that kind of reputation. So LUV showing they're equal to it right now, but it's a long game and a lot to go.
Yeah, YAKA have so far gone undefeated at this tournament. Their closest game was 15-8 against Box, but they managed to dispatch the Heidelbergian 15-3 and Flowers 15-4, so potentially have not had much of a challenge so far in Bruges.
Maybe that will all change as they go up against the hometown heroines, LUV, well, home country.
We can only hope.
Setting it into the middle. Chassignon. Down the line. Messi. Steele Messel. Well played. And YAKA just taking their time, going through their options. Smooth, relaxed play, lots of swinging. Exactly what you want to see if you're the offensive coach. Matai. And there's just a little call, which works out quite well as KFK go past us. An impressive performance and a good one. Plenty of potential on that squad, and they're only going to get stronger now that they've combined with Ragnarok. But right now we're focusing on YAKA. Dellier to the middle. Chassignon shoots it. That was not an easy break, but she made it look like one.
No, she really dropped down, and yeah, the angle on that was pretty absurd. So that's a nice hold after that first slightly nervous point, maybe a couple turns from both teams. We're seeing clean holds and beautiful flow.
So YAKA just going through the motions, doing what they do best. It's just calm, clean, ultimate. They can get frisky, they can get feisty, but right now, slow burn, working their way into the day. It's going to be a long day.
It is, and I think that that first kind of break, that first blood is going to be very crucial. We'll see who manages to kind of make that first strike against the other team.
You'd have to fancy YAKA, but LUV are no slouches.
I don't think anyone could fault you with that analysis there, Lorcan.
And the step over, the tactical step over, let the defense get set so you can just throw it straight past them, perhaps. Peethers.
That's some next level tactics.
That's the kind of intelligence you have to bring at this elite level. And that's a fantastic throw to the sideline. Not bowing to the pressure yet, although there's lots of air under that one. YAKA come in to clean it up. So, first chance for a break.
YAKA just absolutely all over that one. Looked like they were almost waiting for a floaty throw to go up.
Andieu takes the dump into the middle. Paula Bass, their established talent of this team. Becker down the line, and YAKA fluid all the way to the end zone. And they made that one look pretty comfortable too.
Yeah, so that's, you know, again, beautiful frisbee. There's only really so many ways that you can describe something that is as lovely and as fluid as that. But we're seeing just exactly what you would expect from this French side. Very calm, very clinical, but absolutely fiery on D when they need to be.
(3-1) to YAKA. They get the first break, a crucial one. Could be one of many, as we know YAKA like to go on runs once they get the ball rolling.
But then again, LUV have a very strong side. They could come on and D-roll. I mean, it's only 3-1. We're speaking
it's
as
over.
If... Yeah.
It's completely finished. Who stands out to you on LUV?
Chalise, obviously. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but she is absolutely dominant as a handler on the field. She's also had some stellar kind of end zone points. Charlotte Peters, incredible, just will not stop running. Makes me tired just looking at her. And Anua, who I don't think is on the pitch at the moment, but she also really stood out to me. I
haven't seen much of LUV, and Anua was already standing out to me. Really impressive in that first point. As YAKA come out with a zone, so we'll see how LUV can respond. They've got plenty of people comfortable with the disc. Charlotte Peters in the middle, dishing it about. Has the disc again. they're just taking their time working it between them. And that's really well done down the line. Lots of float and plenty of time for Delaforte to get onto it. Peters, this is a fantastic offensive response to the first look at the zone. Forcing them, YAKA, to go to match defense. Big bid comes up empty, exposes the entire end zone briefly. Not able to take advantage straight away. Peters floats that one out. It's going to need a chase, and it gets one for the score, 3-2.
That was gorgeous zone offense, moving the disc so quickly across the width of the pitch, and the YAKA zone having to really run to try and keep up and not equal to it, allowing them to get those really nice shots, as you said, up the sideline. I wonder if YAKA will bring their zone out again.
When you get shredded like that, how do you feel about putting on another zone?
Well, you have to try something once. I think you generally have to try something again. If the wind picks up or it starts to rain, which I think it's forecast to, then I wouldn't be surprised if they brought it out again. But it might have been a, we tried it, it didn't work, but we tried it kind of situation.
I like it when, even if they do rip through the zone straight away, I like the idea of having zone variations and the ability to mix them up ever so slightly. Maybe you have an assassin in there. Maybe you change the front of that zone from a wall to being more focused on handler marking tight, and then leaving the wings to continue doing what they were doing. Bring people in, send them out. But something different so that when the offense comes up against it, they go, oh, it's this again, but it isn't. Mon Dieu. Centers. Crosnier. Gets it to Baus. And Baus has got a cannon. Although, she's going to keep it silent for now and just go down the field. That is a brilliant break. Comfortably into the arms of Brignau. She has Baus. Mon Dieu, all the way across the pitch, just screaming for it. And these breaks from Baus and Mon Dieu are absolutely fantastic. Slicing up the match defense. And Mon Dieu just taking her mark to market. And the way she controls the tempo of the game, it's unflappable. There's so much understanding, especially between her and Richon. Baus. Bit more flair, a bit more pizzazz. Working with Mon Dieu. Mon Dieu staring at an end zone. Her mind filling with ideas of how do I get this to somebody. Almost too many options. Might be three stooging it. Lovely float. Comfortable catch for Anna Lebon.
Even though it looked like LUV were poaching off, they had several handlers back. So they were trying to clog up the end zone, but Mon Dieu still able to find that option, and I mean, you'd expect nothing less, really.
It's a tall task to try and contain. I'm not even saying stop. I'm going to say contain Mon Dieu and Baus when they're working together like that. They had some searing flick breaks, and then the movement. Such quick steps, so dangerous. Every step they take, you have to respect it because it's so risky if they get free.
And especially in such small spaces, they're able to get so much separation. One benefit of this field is that it is rubber crumbs. Some of the other fields have gotten quite slippery over the last few days. Can be harder to find a purchase. I'm sure there were lots of tumbles in the Ranelagh game earlier.
Such as the tumbling of Bad Skid out of the quarterfinals and the ascendancy of Irish Open Ultimate Ranelagh, our representatives, into the semifinals for the first time. And also lots of men falling over in the mud. Let's see if LUV can do something similar and rise to this moment. Rise to the challenge in front of them. It is a substantial one. But they're here for it. And where else would you rather be?
I mean, Sardinia springs to mind. No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Wounded is Peters. Hopes to inflict some wounds of her own on this YAKA defense. Lovely throw straight to Delaforte. Peters. Those breaks from Peters. And different ones each time as well, just showing the versatility. That's Van Vick. Van Vick, maybe? Big hand block, but gets through. That's a lot of pass. A lot of mustard. Peters gets it across. And when you touch up the disc like that, it can be a little bit frustrating. But they get it in the end. Delaforte maybe trying to force that one a bit too quickly.
Yeah, that was perfect offense up until that point. And the right option is a big huck goes.
A bit too fast, a bit too far. Clara Matai, very good receiver, but not able to get onto the end of that one. So now it's back with Peters, spreading it. And Love thinking about the deep shot, deciding to holster it. But Erk instead opts to go down the line. Delaforte surveying, and this is a lot of open side unders, just working with the basics. Lanvik has a dump down the line, and they're going to keep working them if it keeps going.
Called out.
Front of the end zone, Peters attacks, bends around, is going to look for the swing. We know she has the brakes to tear this force apart. And that one sits up a little bit. Delaforte takes time, good boxing, body position. Calls her spot, decides against it, no one gets there in time. There's not a lot of movement coming from the stack out horizontally, attacking the extremities of the end zone. It's all been rather central and a lot of dumping. And Peters, and that's a beautiful break, but it's just too far. A tough throw and trying to squeeze it in, it got squashed.
Yeah, I think the offense was just a bit stymied there. As you said, there really weren't a lot of cuts coming from the stack. You know, it didn't look like there was a play that was called. Yeah, great patience from Love, but yeah, just that last shot into the end zone, not so much.
So YAKA with an opportunity to push on. Get another break for themselves and extend this lead. It's a dangerous combination. Matai down the line. Fenig, a big floaty huck. Well read, but better collection. How did that come off? Fantastic hands and then brilliant vision. Excellent stuff by Katerina Matai. So YAKA kind of getting away with that one. We know Robin Fenig likes to launch them. Haven't looked too great, the two she's put up today.
No, not really. I mean, you can see exactly what she was going for with both of them. You can see the throw she was kind of envisioning as the disc left her hand. But yeah, maybe she needs just another point or two. Maybe that's also a thing, is because that open game overran, neither teams really had a chance to practice their long throws. They were kind of warming up in a very narrow space on the sideline, had to do some quite short range throwing. So not being able to warm up those long throws, get those muscles active, is potentially a bit of an issue.
That is a fantastic point. And that throw did technically work.
Yes.
So, like, the first one didn't work. That one she got away with. The next one I'm expecting to be quite good.
Yes. Yeah. Fingers crossed. A completion is a completion, you know, no matter what happens in the in-between.
It's always been my policy anyway, as someone who is, what was my role described as? Sketchy handler. Completions count. Peters in the middle. And the side stack by LUV, hoping to utilize the space it creates. Foul called on the mark. Afonso. And that's a huge inside-out flick break. A thing of beauty and comfortably collected for the score. Really impressive play by LUV.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less from Chile. She has had some incredible long throws. Her pulls are always amazing. And yeah, that's exactly what LUV need to do. Quick O points and then try and force a turn from the French side.
It's a tall order, but one they're going to put into the bar and see what comes back. That was a fantastic throw.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for an inside-out flick hook. I just think they're beautiful. The way they carve. And that flattened out for the easy catch as well. A lot of the times they come back down with some venom and they're not the easiest things to corral.
Yeah, especially as it's so still, we're getting to see some really gorgeous, gorgeous throws.
Which is a wonderful thing, because the weather got rough yesterday, and it can impact the quality of the ultimate, not the intensity. But right now we're seeing these teams are able to be a bit more freewheeling, able to use a fuller retinue of their throws, which is a dangerous thing when you've got players like Lisa Solis and Charlotte Peters on one side, and then Mondieu Bass on the other.
Battle of the Titans.
It's a Centered disc, Delaval. Chassignon. Delaval. And smoothly around to the sideline. And there's another big hook. I am loving the shots they're taking here on Saturday morning. Beautiful grab as well by Robin Fennig.
What can't she do?
Cam.
Excuse me?
She's just playing with heart and intensity right now, which is what you need when you're in these crucial games. Big time layout grab. A successful hook earlier. And stepping up to the plate for YAKA. There's a lot of talent throughout this YAKA team. Is there anyone outside of Mondieu, Bass, Robin, who has caught your eye?
I'm gonna hold off on that for now. I think I recognise some of them. The under-24s had a friendly against YAKA back in 2015, and they beat us pretty handily. So there are some familiar faces. So once I put names to faces, I might be able to come back to you with that. Yeah, we photobombed their team picture afterwards. It was good fun.
Well, that's some kind of revenge on them.
Take what you can get.
Hey, sketchy handling.
Does the sketchy apply to any other areas of your life as well? Is it you know? Because I feel like that might be applied to.
I don't sell illegal fish anymore, but I could get you one if you wanted one. What do you think, like angelfish?
Are they illegal?
In Ireland.
Random.
Peters, searing break, leading as well, and going for the follow-up, but deciding to holster it instead. So LUV swinging this disc from side to side, resetting and keeping working. Just a pick.
See if they transition into something a bit more suitable for a short field. Looks like they're halfway there.
Something to put a bit more pressure on those handlers because they are getting some time to hang out under floaty discs. Peters gets it on the second attempt. Just about. We know she's got plenty of breaks at her disposal. Van Vick to the front. Chassignon. And a beautiful assist for the score.
It's very classic, understated, nice ultimate.
It is a bit relaxed right now, and that's very impressive by Belgium. When you've got the intensity from the YAKA defense coming at you to just keep your calm. Just to correct myself, that was Silke Delaforte getting the assist. But impressive offense by LUV, moving it across the pitch, side to side, not forcing too much. A bobble here or there, a scare, but that's natural, especially when you're playing quality defense. What really matters is it was a flawless hold.
Certainly, and I think that was much better than their last kind of red zone offense that we saw, where I think there were 3 handlers back and not a lot of movement from the stack, as opposed to having 2 back, and then everyone, I think, maybe feeling a bit more comfortable with that setup, more kind of like, oh yes, this is what we do in training, as opposed to, oh, there are 3 people, is someone coming back? Shall I go the other side? Oh, I'm not sure.
Not giving in to panic. Big pull.
Oh. Gorgeous.
It gives LUV plenty of time to come down and set up their own zone. They seem to be going with a 4-person cup. Or perhaps a bit of a wall, as you can see downfield. Anar is facing the opposite direction and looking to pick up cutters as they come crashing through. But YAKA, very relaxed. They know what they're doing. They're not going to try and force anything. Gets it back. Chassignon. Centers. Delaval. Puts that one over, just a bit too much mustard on it.
And that's exactly what that zone is trying to do, make you get a little bit too casual on those swings, and that is a bit of a gift to the Belgian side.
Chance for them to earn a break back. Will they be able to do it? Claudia Anar picking it up. The bat on the force. Anar looking for breaks instead, just brilliant hands. That was coming with plenty of zip. Not an easy one to catch at all. And a lovely shoulder fake and cut to the front corner. Great score by Claudia Anar.
I mean, she is absolutely key. She can throw lovely breaks. She can get free in tight spaces. bit of a, I'm going to use the word talisman. I don't think I actually fully 100% get what people mean when they say talisman, but she's very good.
Did you ever play Spyro?
Spyro?
Spyro 2.
No.
Ripto's Revenge. Or Gateway to Glimmer is the European release was known as. Talisman is, well, it's like their treasured piece that represents them. Kind of like, say, if you ever saw a unit, like a army unit, and they have their flag. That's kind of like their talisman. It's like the thing that represents them, that they carry with them, that is the epitome of their spirit, of their personality, of their focus, of their determination.
Okay.
So when you describe someone as talismanic, it's almost like they're a leader, but not just a leader in the classic sense, a leader in the avenue of they're the person to follow, maybe not for organizational stuff, but in your heart, in your soul, when you're trying to be a part of what they're doing.
Some very deep stuff for 11 o'clock, Lorcan, but I'm here for it.
Well, we can start talking about the classics afterwards, if you'd be interested. Paula Bass, who at this point I would say has established herself as a classic, but there's a bit of an upset here. This is fantastic stuff by LUV. They will not go quietly into the good night, and they're working hard. They can cash this in and tie the game right back up. It looked like it was going to be business as usual for YAKA. LUV have other ideas. Calm with their dumps for now. Big shot all the way across. Lots of people underneath it. Oh. And who else but Mon Dieu is the one to take it down?
You can't teach tall, but there are a lot of other things that you can teach. Reading and positioning.
Mon Dieu with the disc on the end zone. Her own end zone, the opponent's end zone. It doesn't matter. She's comfortable everywhere. Baus pops it back in. And they're moving around this LUV zone as they seek to get another break. So that's Bringel, Mon Dieu working together. Baus out on Mon Dieu's right. And that is a searing break to the opposite sideline. Now YAKA, after breaking through, can they keep it going? Back to Mon Dieu. She is punishing them with those low release backhand breaks. Bringel, far sideline. Mon Dieu hits Baus. Options to keep the swing going, and does Richon. As Bringel in front, trying to crash through that zone. Goes back to Baus. Baus points. Directing traffic exactly where she wants it to go. Becker makes the run, collects it. Pass. Bringel. And they've switched to match defense. And it gets the turn.
Gosh.
Just a little bit behind Elise Becker, I think.
Yeah, that was really unexpected. I mean, in that transition, that's kind of when you expect offenses to kind of capitalize on any miscommunications or people slow to pick up. And that's going to be a timeout called by Celise.
So how do you feel? I've never really had too many chances to talk to you about this, Ali. First time in the booth. Thoroughly enjoying it, by the way. How do you feel about the concept of the turnout, the calling the timeout in these situations, and it can lead to a turnover?
Well, I'm often told that facts don't care about your feelings. So I'm yet to see statistics on when timeouts are taken, where they're taken, and how often that leads to a turnover. Because I feel like people like to point to certain examples and say, this supports my side.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said there. What doesn't care about your feelings?
Facts. Have you heard of those?
What?
Have they got to Ireland yet?
Is it like speculation? I know what speculation is. What about assumptions? Assertions? I don't know. Facts, you say.
It can be tricky things.
What a curious concept to bring into a commentary booth of all places. I operate almost exclusively on feeling. There's another way.
Maybe we can balance each other out a bit then.
Well, I'm going to chew on that while we have this timeout. In terms of when you go for your timeouts, do you go for them more on an emotional level? Say there's been a few turnovers, people are getting worked up. Are you more, this is an opportunity to get the break, we absolutely need to have it, let's stop it? Like, what's your preference for when to call timeout?
So definitely when playing university, it was a case of, this point has been going on for 15 minutes and I'm tired. Or if it's kind of getting to about 4 near the end zone, that's pretty reliable. You know, if it's a bit messy in there to try and set something up. But as a D-line cutter, I'm not generally in a position to make those important kind of break point timeout calls. So
one of the most thankless positions
Yep.
on the ultimate pitch. Hey, do you like running? Yes. Do you like getting the disc? Yes. Oh, no.
yeah,
No.
You can only have one of those things.
But if you like running, oh, we've got lots of running for you.
Yeah.
But so we're coming back in. So LUV looking to tie it up. They had one bite at the apple earlier, closer to the end zone. They're going for a big hug. It's screaming low. It goes through anyway. Great defensive effort by Bringle, but not tall enough. And now LUV right outside the end zone. They've been here before. A bit more of a central position. And a big sweeping break. Brilliantly done and comfortably collected for the score. Tied at 6s.
And that is another break. For LUV, they were at 3-6. It is now at 6-all.
And when it went to 3-6, I'll be honest with you, I thought, yeah, this is YAKA are just going to work this, right? They're just going to, maybe he'll finish 8-4 at half. Maybe the game will finish 15-7, 15-9, something like that. Pretty standard fare for YAKA. And LUV went, oh no, you're not allowed to discount us. We know we're on the stream. We know we've got fans watching, and we've got pride to play for here in our home country of Belgium. 3 points on the trot against YAKA is not something a lot of European women's teams can claim they've done.
No, it's a definite feather in the cap for these Belgian women. I think the home turf advantage might potentially be coming into play here. We have a very packed sideline on the opposite side of the field, potentially kind of families, friends, co-workers coming out to support LUV in this very important power pool game.
Showing the love.
Oh, very nice.
Sometimes you just underarm them to me, and I'm gonna take them every day.
Of course, that's what I'm here for.
Teamwork. So facts, you say. I'll come back. Very curious about it. As YAKA, perhaps a little curious themselves. Not expecting this showing from LUV. That disc was dropping quickly, but collected, and a huge run through D. But an even better effort. Nope. Immediately admitting it was down. Chastignon committing. You could hear the oh from over here of that sideline.
It's just a roller coaster of emotion, that whole pass.
A wild ride as Anur. Maybe hoping to smooth things out. Needs a dump. Gets one.
Gets two.
Double trouble in Bergen. This is really impressive intensity by LUV. To be able to play that hard on defense and switch around and kind of keep to this fairly well-structured big shot to the end zone offense, but nobody there. Miscommunication, unfortunately, and the chance to take the lead goes wanting. Meisel, far sideline. Front corner. That's a nice throw into middle space. YAKA just taking their time now, calmly waiting and working. Filio, and here comes the big shot out of who else's hands but Fennig.
Oh!
And another really impressive run-through block this met, but LUV could do with catching a few of these Ds, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, she's just getting like a little dink on them and almost making them sit that little bit more.
Great Mackline move. Isn't much use when you're in the jungle.
No.
The jungle being these intense games of Ultimate E at xEUCF 2021. LUV, the Belgian side, going up against YAKA, titans of European Women's Ultimate. But LUV looking to be just a little bit impertinent. They don't have to recognize, we can recognize your ability, we can respect it, but we don't have to bow to it. And they are putting up one heck of a fight right now, battling hard for each other. Big shot to the end zone.
Oh.
Phenomenal defensive play. That's Melina Daban. I love that. She caught her, D.
She did, yeah, that's how you do it. LUV can teach YAKA how to play zone, and YAKA can teach LUV how to catch their Ds.
So Daban, down the line. Matai turns off Fenning in front of her. He's trying to get it back into the middle, and does. Daban spreading it further out and across. That's Alexandra Tillier. This is, again, LUV with some really impressive switching downfield, stopping those undercuts and putting lots of pressure on the handlers. This is really good defense by the Belgians, but perhaps just a bit too much adrenaline on the offense. You very rarely see Anur have a disc come out of her hands that unexpectedly.
Yeah, you can tell she's got her hands on her knees looking very disappointed. I almost was expecting a foul call to come after that, but I think maybe just a bit of a slippage as it came out of her hand.
I'm very familiar with that kind of a throw. Anur not so much, and that is something I was talking about with Sean on the other pitch. When you're not as versed at being in these high intensity situations against elite level competition, those kind of mistakes creep in just a little bit more.
And this feels like a battle, you know, we're at 6-all, half is at 8, but it feels like whoever gets this break is going to have an edge.
Bearing in mind, LUV are still on that 3-point run. So YAKA, it's gone a while since YAKA last scored. There seems to be a call.
Some kind of marking infraction, a fast count, perhaps. We can but speculate. There are no different hand signals for the different marking infractions.
Speculate we can do. Front corner. LUV doing a really good job of keeping pressure around the knee, everywhere close to the disc. YAKA starting to work that out and air some shots over the top of it. And that's going to really help. Again, Peters searing through, but not quite quick enough on that occasion. Fenig across. Delaval. Fenig, she's going to think about lashing it. Not for long. She's just going to go. Huge bid, but Daban, after getting such a fantastic grab in one end zone, almost comes up with an even more impressive one in the opposite end zone.
And Fenig still not having a huge amount of luck with all of these hucks.
Trying to tighten them up over the course of the game will be a battle, and it will be a crucial one for this YAKA side, as LUV are keeping it close. Great defensive pressure from YAKA, keeping LUV in their own end zone, but that's a beautiful break to the sideline. Humbergen. Another fantastic break, and they're just nipping at every single pass right now. But LUV unfazed. Back into the middle.
Oof.
Bit of a clatter. There's a contest on that by Chassignon.
It did look like she lost her footing as opposed to being tripped, but you know, feet can get tangled up, so contested foul upfield.
Nicely resolved. So the Stolkan's going to say the same. Still looking for options. And these are big bids from the YAKA women. Humbergen tries to float one up. Really well taken down. When a disc is bobbling like that, it is difficult to get some grip on it. Fantastic stuff, and a comfortable pass again. Anur into the middle. Sideline, looks for the shot across. That's a break one.
Oh.
Always going closer to YAKA than to LUV.
You could see Celise just itching to put it deep. Every time one of the cutters started making steps deep, you could see her kind of set herself ready for the throw. Maybe just a little bit trigger happy there, but I don't blame her for wanting to just get this point in. As I think a timeout is going to be called by YAKA. And I think we might take this opportunity to just show you a little advert about what we do here at ULTI.TV.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
And we are back. As you can see, the discussion going on. YAKA have set up. LUV just deciding how best to match it. And that's one of the toughest things. I say it is the toughest thing about a timeout. The defense getting a chance to look at exactly what you're doing and really make a concentrated effort to stop it. They know you're going to come with a set play. Will they be able to read it quick enough and disrupt it? Seems like they did rather successfully. Goulier just about getting that one in. So YAKA break through the first jaws of the zone. Are able to work it down the pitch a bit further. Fillier gets it back, an opposite sideline. YAKA taking their time smoothly. Messel, Fillier. Cross, Fenig. Doesn't hook it. But a high release backhand arcing to the opposite sideline. Taking advantage of the lack of defender. Meisel sends it back to Fenig. And this is great dump and swinging. Fillier with the disc by YAKA. Fenig just being a bit of a conductor right now. Comfortable collection. Perhaps not. Delaval gets down with it though. And swings it back. The wind just starting to pick up ever so slightly. That'll be influencing some of these swing throws as they expose the bottom of the disc to the breeze. Back into Fenig. Across, Delaval. And Fenig, a bit of throw and go. And a lovely arcing pass all the way to the opposite sideline. Enough space and enough time. Comfortable score on an important point.
Certainly, and LUV looking a little bit defeated, hands on hips as they start to slowly walk back to the. Oh no, they're jogging now. Props to them. But you love to see those end zone throws that just arc over absolutely everybody to be collected on the opposite sideline. It's just having that vision to see something developing with so many people in the way and then just execute that perfectly to catch in stride.
Really well done from YAKA. Calling the timeout, working their options. So much dump and swinging all the way down the pitch. Not really giving into the pressure too much. There was that one time Delaval went to ground to rescue the disc, but even then, relatively comfortable and the exact kind of response you want when you come out of a timeout like that.
And that's the first point YAKA scored in a while, and I think that's important to kind of stop this Belgian D-roll and, you know, just clamp down on their momentum a bit, reassert control.
So how will LUV respond? They had two very good chances to take the lead in this game, thanks to a 4-0 run. They tied it up at 6s. YAKA have responded, winning the attrition battle. There's always one of those points in close games where there's the turnovers kind of mount, 3 turnovers apiece. YAKA get the hold in the end. So if LUV can come back out and just get an instant hold on offense, as the wind's starting to pick up and will turn this into an upwind downwind game, it seems, if given enough time. So you need to strike now. Delaforte, a lovely flick break back into the middle. And LUV are moving quickly with purpose and pace down the pitch. No way phased. That just maybe too casual. And is that a foul call? I call that a bailout foul because that disc wasn't going to be caught. But fouled by Bass and very fairly, very quickly resolved, which is always encouraging. A lot of respect on this pitch right now, a lot of talent. Beautiful fakes just to move Mondieu around. I keep saying Mon Dieu because it's an expression. It's Mon Dieu. It's just everything she does, we're like, Mon Dieu! As LUV getting some expressions of their own out there. Mon Dieu closing that door quickly. The stall count's getting high. It's going to be a comfortable pass to the center. Big commitment by the offense. And LUV will not be easily rattled.
Oh. My word.
That was beautiful. I love a good go low backhand break. Just a little bit of a curve. 7-7. Flawless hold. So really impressive response from LUV. They go, you just had to battle us for 10 minutes to get your hold, and it was your first score in 4 points. Why don't we just walk down the pitch, set up a cheeky little galaxy point?
We are indeed tied at 7s. The next point scored will take half.
YAKA started on offense.
I don't know how to work this thing.
YAKA started on offense.
There we go.
And as a result, we'll be receiving here. Game's been fairly even despite those breaks that YAKA was able to get early in the game, pushing out initially to a 3-1 lead, and then pushing that even further to 5-2. But that 3-point run late in the first half by LUV has brought them back into it, 7-7. And honestly, the way their D-line's been playing, when they come out of this timeout, I would fancy them to get a break.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be surprised the way their defense has been so far this game. I mean, both sides have had incredibly fiery defense and some incredible bids, but it does seem like the Belgian zone is just that little bit more effective at shutting down the YAKA offense. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see that coming out again later in this game.
I do think if you don't add those variations that I was talking about earlier, a team of YAKA's quality, the throwers they have, Fennick, Mondois, Bass, just a few of them. Chassignon, Richon, Davant. They will work it out. They'll learn their positioning, they'll learn where to attack, and it won't work for that long. Ines Brignell was also doing quite well against the zone on one of the points earlier. So I think you need to mix it up a little. I was really impressed. They got a few run-through Ds on them as well. Just aggressive on the shoulder, taking the speed away from them.
And if you're enjoying this exciting women's action here on YouTube, please do consider liking this video, just tapping that thumbs up, hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell to be notified every time we go live with more Ultimate content.
For a second there, I thought Celise had sailed that one into the corner and pinned YAKA down, but it's going to be a break, and it's going to be rather substantial.
And we're going to see some hopefully tasty red zone defense from LUV.
So Chassignon is going to get to walk this disc all the way. And down straight into the Renzo. Mondois. Beautiful break, no hesitation. And just like that, it does seem a little... Oh, brilliant catch. I would have called that in. We'll see what they decide. It's going to be called in. That was been no ways an easy catch. Melina Debin has got clamps for her fingers.
Really, really impressive. And, you know, she managed to keep her feet in and maintain control of the disc even as she overbalanced and fell out of bounds. So, you know, that's really impressive as well. And that's got to hurt for LUV because they had that opportunity of a timeout to really discuss everything that they were going to do, and then obviously had to adapt last minute to a very short field offense for YAKA.
Shows you just how crucial the pull is. One of the most important aspects of the defense, the pull and the chase. Also pretty important aspects of a night out.
You, sir, are a muppet.
Am I a man? Or am I a muppet? Well, if I am a man, I'm a muppet of a man. Or I could be a very manly muppet.
Or a muppetly man?
I'm a muppety man. This has been as entertaining as Sesame Street at its finest. Muppets tonight, maybe right now action on the ultimate pitch. And it has been fantastic stuff. LUV will not go away. I do think that exactly what you're saying with they had to kind of adapt on the fly and play a zone almost from where you'd normally melt. And YAKA immediately knew where to attack. Swing, swing, arcing pass to Dabin on the far side, and it looked to me kind of like they'd solved it.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that much less field to kind of work in. There isn't necessarily that same pressure of, you kind of look down the field and you see all of the space that you have to make up. So yeah, when you're right near that end zone, the passes are smaller, the distance is shorter. I'm not a huge fan of playing zone near end zones or in end zones, as some teams still do, because your communication has to be so tight and so on point. Otherwise, it's a score.
That's interesting. I really like playing it. I love holding it because of that exact reason. I love the clamp, where you're just on either side of the stack and the constant communication. And you're right, really good teams will take their time patiently and will work with it. But there's a chaos that you can build. You can inflict on people, either through the melt or just by holding onto the zone and they expect you to go match. And really, you kind of are going match, but with some little cheeky little poaches and some heads-up switch calls. Because really, the only way you're going to play defense at the elite level, because it's such an offensively favoring sport, is with heads-up defense and switching, I believe. When it's normal conditions, matched physically, offense is going to win every single time. So you need to have that communication, that understanding between players, and the idea of having a defense on a string.
It's a real test and a real showcase of how good, as you say, a team's communication is if they stick with that zone in the end zone and then manage to get a turn or keep them up for a long time.
Another test is how do you respond to pressure here at the start of the second half. 8-7 down. LUV will be opening it up, calling a brick. They've shown us they've got moves.
Movers and shakers.
Butchers and bakers. Peters with the disc in the middle, hoping to cook up something. And now we see a zone from YAKA. Interesting. So what do you think of this zone, Ali?
It looks a lot tighter. It looks like the cup is standing a fair bit closer to the handler. The positioning is taking away that IO channel, and it's presenting LUV with a few more problems than it did at the first time of asking. She says, as they break through it.
They break around it, but aren't able to get any downfield penetration. Oh, Peters, there it is. All right, there we go. No point in us. We should just stop, really, shouldn't we? This is really impressive stuff. I love.
Yeah, we should just stop talking.
Just curse them. So YAKA with a chance to put themselves back up by another break. Well,
that number 44 shirt from LUV was really good yesterday, but I think she's got a new bandage on her leg, so hasn't been on for as many points. As a huge shot goes to Fennig. One then the other.
YAKA love throwing themselves about. They are committed to the cause, and they're putting their bodies on the line. Peters in the middle for LUV. And the casual lefty. And a big shot going in the opposite direction, but I think that's going to carry out of bounds. Unfortunate.
It's a bit too much IO on it. So we may be in for another grinder of a point here, just out of half.
And this is one in the opposite direction because LUV are starting it on offense. And it's a matter of if YAKA score here, that could be the boost they need to just carry them through and take over the rest of this game. We know Mondois has a lot of options, both in terms of quality receivers and impressive throws. Like a break like that, stall count getting high, normally panic kicks in, not for Mondois.
Oh, so close.
Lots of pressure from LUV. They are an incredibly athletic team, the Belgians. They constantly put pressure on. Mondois, beautiful shot through the middle. Bringle, a little bit too high, or totally on purpose for the perfect leading pass to Meisel, who then sends it back to Bringle. Just showing off with that catch a little bit.
Yeah, there was a split second where I thought it was going to go over her head, and then she engaged some kind of springs and went up to get it.
Really impressive by YAKA. A crucial break coming out of the half, 9-7.
That is a really important break. I think that's a bit of a stomp of the boot from YAKA on the... I don't want to say on the neck, that sounds really violent now, but yeah, definitely a decisive hit back.
That's what YAKA do. They are a heavyweight. They know how to throw punches. But
Love is no fragile thing. And it can take some hits and keep coming back. So you have a feeling either way which way the game's going to go right now?
I'm very much rooting for the underdogs, the Belgian underdogs here. I feel like this next point is going to show how LUV adapt. If YAKA come out with their zone again, we'll see what changes they make. So I think this is a really important point to see whether LUV can adapt before YAKA start to really kind of clamp down and get more breaks in. Because if they can't adapt now, it may be too late for them to fight their way back.
It's what YAKA do. They clamp, they push on from these points. But in fairness, that's what I thought they were doing at 5-2. And LUV have shown us they can keep beating and keep powering on. Peters. That's it to 44. Tireless running by 44, even with the extra bandages.
Yeah.
So energetic. Oh, but the throw really well picked. Great handler defense by Chassignon. And the screws start to tighten. Delaval goes for the high release break, and it's a one throw, one score. Nope, front of the end zone, still got work to do. Dabin sends it across. Delaval is looking for the open side cut. Peters was poaching, stopped the initial look. Pfennig. Delaval opts to bounce back and is hoping to get a swing. Instead, just goes straight down the line. Chassignon. Villot in front. Delaval behind, somehow holds on to that one. It's like she threw that in between her fingers. That wasn't a catch. That was an infliction. With YAKA taking their time. Chassignon! Oh, baby, what a catch. Still not in, though.
Oh, my God.
Pfennig, who I think might be part bird. Delaval. And that's a score eventually to Chassignon.
Asking so much of Robin Pfennig, and she answers.
She has a lot of answers. Like, she's throwing herself about the field as if gravity and the damage it does doesn't exist.
Yeah, especially on this this rubber crumb. It's not the easiest on the joints, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some friction burns on kits as well. Not the best surface to go ground on.
I think it's a mentality thing for YAKA, because I have heard they've really committed and they're just trying to be as powerful as they can be, and there's so many layouts across the board. Some of them, they're kind of gratuitous, if we're being honest, and that's all heart and hope, and not a whole lot of reason, which is, along with speculation, largely how I live my life.
Yeah, logic and rationality don't necessarily help you too much on a Frisbee field.
Certainly not if you want to go all the way and enjoy yourself while doing it. I find rationality tends to get in the way of things like that.
Yes.
I love right now, the rational thing would be to maybe drop your head, to give in to the YAKA songs as they make their way around your huddle. But that's not how love works. It is a beast unto itself. It is more than a feeling. And it is here today, defending their home country from one of the most impressive women's outfits this continent has ever been blessed with. And they put it up to them before. They've been 3 points down before. You think would you like to see something maybe a little different offensively from them?
Yeah, we've seen them do horizontal. I'd be interested to see if they maybe have a kind of a side stack look, or maybe just some different cutting patterns. We know they can put it long, and I think YAKA has been kind of clamping down on those long shots. So either maybe some kind of handler play, like a deep cut off the initial dish to the middle. Those are always fun to watch, but they tend to also only work once.
That's the thing with plays. I always love a good handler busting deep, though. As they go back to the horizontal, and YAKA bring out the zone again. It's Celise. Very impressive handler. That's it. Lots of breaks. That was a scuba that came out so quickly. I thought that was released as a backhand. Brilliant stuff now from LUV. The give goes carving through the center of the zone. Celise, I think, holstered a hook or two.
And that's getting very close. Peters staring into an end zone. Shoots it. De La Forte.
Looks like a pit call is going to stop play.
Just a little bit of discussion, but LUV doing exactly what they need to do in this situation. Really confident offense. Spreading it. And a beautiful break. Styling and or profiling. Fantastic stuff. Celise with the assist.
That was some really, really gorgeous zone offense. Just popping and jinking and jiving and getting it kind of to a handler in power position with the momentum. Just adapting really, really well to YAKA's zone. And that is exactly what we want to see from LUV, and that is exactly what they need to do to continue to nibble away at that lead that YAKA have over them. Score now at 8 and 10. YAKA putting a new line on, offensive line. I wonder if LUV are going to put out their zone again, or they're just going to stick with match, or maybe something new we are yet to see.
The wind has threatened to become a part of this game on a number of occasions and is yet to back it up. So right now, I'd kind of prefer to see match defense.
Yeah, we've certainly had some really incredible matchups. Celise matching up against Fenig is certainly two incredible players who are exchanging slugs. And a big pull from Celise goes up. This one looks like it's going to stay in bounds right on the YAKA end zone line. And it looks like LUV are going to stick with their Wally zone. So YAKA patiently working it round the back. Fenig on the disc, dishes it off. Fake to try and move the cup out of the way, but swings instead. Oh, tries to get it to Fenig. Cup gets in the way. Fenig starts to move it immediately. YAKA with a bit of flow. And a big shot goes up, and an incredible layout by the number 0. Oh my God, knocking on the door of the end zone. That was an absolutely heroic bid. Staring at the stack. Couple of cuts from the front, Fenig across the front. There was not enough movement, and there now is too much. Several cuts go at the same time. YAKA still showing remarkable patience. Fenig up the line, and she milks it into the end zone for another score.
If it's not one problem, it's the other. No movement, too much movement. So frequently happens. YAKA, though, have the patience and have the skill to just take their time, let them work through it, straighten out what they were trying to do, and get the score. So, no 3-point run for LUV this time, but still plenty of potential. What did you like about the LUV defense there? Do you think they should kind of stick with that? Got a couple of moments of pressure.
I think they were really, so previously that player in the IO channel I think had potentially been a little bit too flat, and that was what was allowing some of the YAKA offense to sneak those passes kind of through the cup upfield. So just bringing that player a step kind of towards the cutters meant that the swings went, but because they were quite short, the cup was able to kind of come round and clamp down and stop any flow from YAKA, who then had to break through with a sort of big overhead pass, which in these conditions is on, but if the wind picks up, obviously wouldn't. So that's really, the zone is doing its job if, you know, they're making lots of little passes, or they're having to throw some kind of something floaty, which then can be contested.
I would like to see more floaty passes that can be contested.
Aerial battles, please. We're seeing more and more people arrive from other games to watch this one.
Peters with the disc.
in the middle of the pitch. It's getting harder and harder to see the action because so many people are here for it. And that one just gets turfed, a little unexpected if I'm honest with you. Now YAKA hoping to push out their lead again, do in the second half what they couldn't in the first. Put this game to bed. Mondois. Comfortably into Bringle, and Bringle arcs one out. That's the aerial battle we were hoping for. Great D. Really would like it if LUV caught their Ds though.
Yeah. Yeah, not much more you can really say about that.
Really impressive, well read, well contested. Fantastic stuff. Just a little nervier than it needs to be. Peters under pressure. Really great dump defense by YAKA.
Oh.
Bobbled and dropped, unfortunate.
That's heartbreak, and that's very good field positioning for YAKA.
And an even better woman on the disc. Huge arcing break, and that's the kind of throws she has in the repertoire. I really thought that was going to be caught by Kathy Afonso, but the sideline came up on her quicker than she was expecting. Huge layup!
Oh, what?
Mon Dieu, mon doigt! C'est fantastique!
Is she going to get the goal now?
Oh, no, she's too much of a veteran, too experienced. She's taking herself out of the play because she knows they need space down there. Bringle spreads it across. It's Le Bon. Mondois. Oh, battling. This is very impressive defense by LUV. It's no simple thing to hold on to these YAKA players and keep them close.
Especially a player that can change direction as fast as Mondois can. Really impressive from LUV.
Inez Bringa is passing that back. Contested. Oh, that's fine. So it's just going to be Le Bon with the disc again.
Oh, contested. I saw a head pat? Okay, no, that doesn't make sense.
And Mondois makes no mistakes on the second time, perfectly weighted and comfortably collected, I think by Elise Becker, but a lot of players are starting to get in the way, so it's difficult to tell.
She had a 3 on her shirt, I want to say, but helpfully both of these teams have rosters which are entirely different from, or rather the numbers are very different to the ones that they submitted to Ultimate Central.
Oh, so good. Is this the part where we put the teams on blast? How is it this I've known what my number was in Ultimate since I've been playing for 3 months. It's not complicated.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
But I suppose when you're blending, getting a few pickups, and sometimes you do see it with generations of jerseys. So you can even tell looking at the LUV jerseys, some of them have white numbers on the back, some of them have red numbers. I believe the red ones are the older jerseys, although I need confirmation on that.
Yeah, I imagine if they have any newer players and, you know, some who potentially joined before the pandemic and then there wasn't an opportunity to do a kit order, means that they've had to do some kind of swapping of kit and borrowing people's shirts.
There was Grut who ordered brand new kit specifically for EUCF, and it arrives next week.
Oh, that is gutting.
Damn you, Suez.
How is it really to do with that?
I don't know. I don't know how the world ground to a halt because one river got blocked, but there we go. Peters centers it to the middle. YAKA coming out with a little bit flatter on the handler marks and trying to invade some space and poach off into the lanes maybe. And that is Maria Castillo coming to Belgium by way of Mexico. Plays with Mooncatchers before picking up a LUV for this tournament. Beautiful shot by Peters, bit of a battle downfield. Excellent read and well taken in. It is a special person who can beat Melina Daban in the end zone.
Yeah, that's the kind of play that we're really expecting from LUV, just being able to hit those deep shots so consistently And still a bit of a point deficit, but LUV are not going to go down without a fight.
Swanging and or banging. They bang that one into the back of the end zone. We try to spread the love as much as we can amongst the players. We are very sorry, some of them we don't have the names for. But really impressive catch. And it's a lot of pressure you're going to be under when you have someone with the abilities of Melina Daban coming down on you. Like, that is a big athlete. And you're watching that disc and you're watching her and you're just thinking, oh no. Well, if you're me, you're panicking. Clearly not if you're playing for LUV because you're actually good at the sport. Which, looks fun, being good at Frisbee, but pretty alien concept.
Don't sell yourself short looking.
The world does that enough.
To be fair, I've never actually watched you play Ultimate, so I...
There's a reason. If you want to come play in some lower leagues in... well, I'm not in Ireland anymore, am I? But the part is I'm in Belgium enjoying top quality Ultimate. I definitely wouldn't have made that GB Under-24 women's team at any point, I think, in my career. Mondra to Bass. And Bass, I thought she was going to huck that. Decided against it. Well taken in by Bringle. Popping it back around, and Rietschoten in the middle. Resets back to Baus. And Baus has been conservative. Used a little bit of give and go. Wouldn't mind seeing her open it up a bit. We know she's got a lot of moves in the repertoire. Bringle, Baus. Bringle has been running her heart out all game long. Really impressive performance. And that shot, well D'd up and blocked. I believe that was Leanne Desmet. It's either Desmet or Hermans, but brilliant defense. And that's why I like the LUV match defense. I think athletically they really are with them, or with most of them.
And I think that may be a situation where YAKA's lack of a real challenge or maybe an athletic match in their previous games means they're not putting the disc far enough out in front for their players to run onto safely, and LUV are getting those chances to sneak in those Ds.
Maybe a little bit of complacency sneaking in as Celise launches that one. Massive defensive effort, but there's going to be a foul call.
It certainly looked like she might have had a second chance at that one, but looked like just tripped over the legs of the YAKA player.
Le Bon, I think, is the one who got the D, and I would agree with you. There was definitely a second chance there. I wouldn't say tripped so much as got booped in the back, but I do think there's a legitimate call for a foul there. Not that my opinion matters. This is a big moment that LUV recognize. I like how they still have the bravery to just boost that deep back in their receivers.
So I'm just hearing on the pitch, one of the YAKA players is making the point that the bomb went up first, and the LUV player was there kind of underneath her when she came down. So yeah, potentially very difficult to avoid contact there. It looks like a couple of players are going to join in the discussion now. The whistle has gone for the 30-second sort of time cap for discussion of when it should be contested and sent back. I've never liked that 30-second limit on discussions. It seems like a very, very short amount of time to hear the other player's point of view and also to make your own case. So the hand signals on the pitch do indicate it is going to be contested and sent back to Celise.
Who I personally hope is just going to wind up and launch another one.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past her. As soon as a deep cut goes for that woman, she is keen to yeet one deep.
First time I've heard someone use the word yeet this tournament, and that comes as a big surprise to me. Yeet was all the rage with the kids a few years ago, wasn't it? People were yeeting everything, yeeting things out, yeeting things in.
Can't help it. It's my my Zoomer heritage. Got to get it in at least once every tournament.
Makes sense. Well, I assume it makes sense. To me, it's too old and scary. As there's Celise launching another one. Not quite enough float, although it didn't seem to matter. They kept running after it.
She really loves that deep throw. It's very efficient ultimate when it works.
Most things are efficient when they work, right?
Define work.
Correct. Very correct. Ringle? Yep. Puts that one up, and here comes the LUV defense screaming in. Anar is the one who gets the touch on it. There are plenty of defenders swarming it. They're far from out of this. Brilliant defensive block. Mondois lays out, just bop, and clean as well. Very clean.
Gosh, yeah, just incredible tenacity from Mondois. So this point, which feels like it's been going on for a while, will continue. Split stack look from YAKA.
Ringo. Mondois calls a timeout, and that's a veteran call. We were discussing when you want to call timeouts. What do you think of that one?
I don't hate it, especially since this point has been going on for a while. It looked like they struggled to get the initiation cut off that kind of split stack look. So yeah, getting a chance to A, get your breath back, get some water on, and B, to just set up something a little bit neater and cleaner, make sure everyone is aware of what they're doing when the disc is tapped in. Yeah, the fact it's halfway down the pitch, if they were near their own end zone, I'd be a bit more like, but yeah, can't fault this decision.
I like that aspect of it, waiting until you're back in the middle of the pitch and you're not on your own end zone, so it's not so completely forgotten what that word is, but you know when you're intimidated, so it's not so intimidating. My brain stopped working for a moment there. It was more like my brain maybe started working. Most of this is just done off instinct.
Those two brain cells that were wandering around finally bumped into each other.
Yeah, it had been a long time, man, and like they didn't end on good terms.
A reunion at last.
Time to settle some scores.
Speaking of scores, in the rest of the tournament, we have Jinx versus Valkyria. Jinx is 8-6 up in the women's division. We also have Muck versus Jet Set Open at 12-11. Costa Rica are 8-11 down to the Bora Bears. So tight game there. Is No Good 10-5 up on the bridge. We've got Troubles dispatching Box Vienna 10-6. And Frisbee versus Dublin Gravity at 7-all. That's going to be exciting.
That is very tantalizing. That is very tantalizing. Frisbee and Gravity duking it out.
I think Maria Castillo played for Gravity. She did. Thank you very much to Natasha for giving us that particular tidbit.
I went to college with Natasha. Great woman. And thank you very much for the tidbit. And remember, you can always talk to us through the live chat. You can reach out to us on Twitter, and you can follow us on Patreon to get involved as we see YAKA getting involved themselves. That's Shanina. Puts up a big arcing flick, plenty of bodies underneath it. They just really don't want to catch those Ds. Like,
no.
That was a good D, and it wasn't going to be catchable afterwards, but you're inviting trouble.
No, they're in the other purple, I think.
The fun zone.
Oh, no. It's just a tough defense able to get set.
Is that a hand block? We can't see.
I think the reaction from the sideline that were in our way would indicate that it was.
We're just going to have to go off the sounds the sideline makes. Unfortunately, we are a little bit about Maria Castillo. Might be injured if we haven't seen too much of her in the last few points. But LUV flying down this field with what they've got on the pitch. That's a lot of guts, a lot of heart, a couple of other organs, and Celise is launching it deep. It was a good read, but ultimately plenty of defense. YAKA really getting wise to as soon as Celise goes, it's danger, danger.
Yeah, that's something that they definitely would have scouted out, and it's the smart play. It's if you know that there's a certain thrower who really likes to jack it long, just keeping your eyes peeled for any sort of whisper of a cutter going deep.
Mondois. Becker has it in the middle of the pitch and puts that one For a second, I thought it was going to go over Mondois because I forgot who it was being thrown to. And that is a fantastic cut by Baus. The sneaky handler, deep cut, perfectly fed by Mondois. All the way across for the easy score to Beckel.
So after all that, all those turns, all those incredible D points, we get a beautiful huck and a very easy continuation for the score. There are hats being thrown in the air by the YAKA team, and the Belgian sideline is looking a little bit dejected at the moment. The score is 9-13.
Well, my advice to them would be, hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Yes, that's exactly what I was going for. Thank you.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Phenomenal song, phenomenal day of Ultimate here. Love can make a comeback, but those 3 marathon points that have been battles, multiple turnovers, scratching, clawing, YAKA have taken all 3 of them. And I think that's a real testament to the veteran ability and composure that runs through this team.
So we've got not a huge amount of time left before the soft cap goes. And we've had a lot of back and forth with these 2 European teams.
The first half, quite a tight contested one, but the second half, is there something you've noticed about YAKA that's maybe helped them pull ahead?
I would say clamping down on that deep game. I think they've potentially had a slightly flatter force, making those hucks a bit more difficult, but also just being really heads up. Oh, that's so unfortunate from Castillo.
It's rough when we spend most of the game not knowing your name. We learn your name and then that happens. But still plenty of pressure to put on the defensive end. Delaval, oh, Peters almost snuck in there and took that one away. Chassagneau lucky to hold on to it. Or brave, perhaps a little bit of both. YAKA outside the end zone, searching for a way in. Just about gets that pop off to Fennick. She's got breaks for days along with those hucks. Nice little pop in, Matthias. On the end zone, Delaval makes a cut behind. Really good handler defense. Lots of pressure, and LUV get it back. Redeeming themselves, Castillo with the block.
Oh, there we go. Everything balances out in the end.
All things equal.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
You're a big old nerd, aren't you?
What tipped you off?
For some reason, it wasn't your love of the classics. As now, could be a classic game if Love can make a comeback in the final few moments. They're playing with heart, they're playing with intensity, and they're playing awfully close to this YAKA defense. These are some fantastic grabs under pressure. Unfortunately, there comes the turn. Delaval, disc in hand, and they're gonna look to punch this in, go up to 14. Delaval back in the middle. Has the swing. Hits Meisel. Back to Delaval. And this is just nice, confident passing between them. Fennick. Matthias. Back to Fennick. And we've seen this before from YAKA, just this calm recycling of the disc, not forcing anything, waiting for the opportunities to come. And when they come, they will be in the right position to hit them. Delaval near sideline. Center back to the middle, Chassagneau.
Oh.
A convincing fake, pretty much faking us here in the booth. Matthias, Fennick, right in front of the end zone. This is where Love can really tighten up. Brilliant break. And comfortable score for YAKA to go 14-9 up. It was Chassagneau who collected it in the end.
So calm and collected on that point. We've seen some really fiery Love defense in this game. It just wasn't really there for those last few passes in the end zone. And it looks like YAKA are on the very edge of closing out this women's power pool game.
The defense has been a bit of burning Love. Can it keep burning? That remains to be seen. First off, they have to cool down the fire a little bit, hold their nerve, and get a shot into the goal. This has been quite an impressive run. 4-1 by YAKA. 6-1 in the second half after such a tight first half that ended
felt a little bit like with LUV in the ascendancy.
Yeah, it really felt like they had a kind of a momentum and a passion and a drive behind them. But I think losing half might have doused their spirits a little bit, and they seem to be, as this game kind of tails off, struggling to find that same intensity.
And what are the ramifications of this game?
That's a really good question. I think because we're still in power pools, you know what? I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, everybody. I'm getting confused since there are open quarters and women still in power pools.
And the entire women's schedule changed
today
as well. So there has been a little bit of a dispute. LUV, though, were able to beat 3SB, which is a huge win for them. So it's not, this might not be it for them, but they need to score some more points and keep it close. Every point matters right now. Mondois with the huge hand block. I think she just wants this game over, so she's taking care of it herself. TKOB, as we say back home, taking care of business.
TKOB?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Mondois, shot, score, game, 15-9, and well collected by Elise Becker.
She just danced that into the end zone on her toes. Very balletic and a very graceful end to a very gritty and hard-fought game here in Bruges.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining me, Ali. It has been a delight, and it is only getting started. So much more action to come to you all day long on these pitches, both of them.
So next up, we've got Lorcan is staying with you. He will be joined by Benji Rees. That will be Groot versus the winner, or rather, we've got a blank space on the schedule here. It may have been filled in on YouTube. I am not sure. And then over on pitch 3, we will have Puti from Finland, again with a blank space for their opponent. So I think that may be dependent on something. The schedule at this tournament has been doing some weird things. But what you can be sure of is there will be more Ultimate, more high-quality Ultimate coming to you live on the ULTI.TV YouTube channel.
So where else would you want to be? I've been Lorcan Murray.
And I've been Ali Thomas.
See you soon.